Welcome back to Talanoa with Tupe. I'm here in the studio with Esera Tanoa'i.
So this is our final segment for Talanoa with Tupe, Season 1. We've had 12 guests, or 12 shows that we've just shot and viewed. What are some of the highlights of our guests that we've had so far?
Man, there's so many highlights. I think for me, there were some themes that came through really strongly. And the first one I've got to mention is faith. That came through really strongly. Almost all of our guests mentioned the role that faith had played in their lives. And for me, that was really special because we didn't set out to make a deliberately, Christian show, and yet it came up in almost every interview. And I think for me that was really special because, I've grown a lot in my faith journey over the years, and one of the things that has been made really clear to me is that, God puts people in your life for a reason, and God makes things happen for a reason. And, I just have felt like with this whole show, it's come together so quickly and so smoothly because, we've been blessed. And I felt that way with Misadventures as well. That there was a reason for this happening, and I do feel like part of it was so that people could see the amazing things that God can do in your life.
So you're talking about God's intervention. So what happened when God put Samson into our life?
So Samson Samasoni, who is the general manager of Umbrella Multimedia, contacted us to see if he could show Misadventures of a Pacific Professional on Oriana TV. And we got to talking because, one of the things that we're really interested in is this platform for Pacific media. So, we had a conversation about this idea we had for the show, and then we decided to do a co-production, and the rest is history.
It's pretty cool, eh? So, the thing that amazes me is that we only had this conversation like 2 months ago, and through God's blessings, we've been able to put together a pretty good show with some wonderful guests. God's put a lot of really cool people in our lives, and it's just been a real privilege to share these stories with our audience and to get that message out so that a younger version of themselves can see this.
Yeah, so the other theme coming through, I felt, was the importance of family. And what really struck me was that for all of our guests, they have not only been successful in their own right, but they come from incredibly successful families. So all of their siblings have done well. And so that really brought home to me that the environment that you create within the family is extremely important.
The ones who had the dad staying home with the kids were the most successful, eh?
You mean the stay-at-home dads?
Yes,
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Well, actually, that brings me to another point. We had a lot of incredibly successful women on the show, and as well as successful men. And the thing is that, with Pacific people, it's, our successes are the success of a collective. And for the people who came on the show, a lot of them talked about the support that they had at home, whether that was a parent, whether that was a spouse. Quite often the spouse had, given up something significant to support their partner, just like you have. A lot of the successful women had stay-at-home dads at home who were able to allow them, the mental freedom to be the best that they could be.
Yeah, and I gave up a promising modelling career to support you, and I put on 50 kgs, but I guess in the end I came out a winner, so I'm pretty happy with that.
I'm glad you felt that way in the end. The thing that really shone through was just how multi-talented all of our, guests were. So for a lot of them, they achieved something in a particular field, but they were very talented at a whole lot of other things. So
That's
there
right.
were a number of things that they could have chosen. It's just they succeeded in what they chose to focus on. So, yeah, I mean, that was a real eye-opener. And I just, yeah, I feel just so grateful that we had the opportunity to share these stories because, you know, growing up, I don't feel like I had many... I could see myself reflected on screen. I remember growing up, there was a magazine called Achievers magazine, and that came out once a year, and I, you know, just devoured it every year when it came out, because I wanted to know the stories of people. Actually, they featured people who had gotten into MFAT, and I used to read their stories religiously every year to kind of see, okay, what did they study, what did they do. And, you know, I really hope that people will, you know, younger people will benefit from watching, you know, these inspirational stories.
Yeah, I guess some of the takeaways I took from these, guess one thing that really hit me was Finga, what he went through COVID, losing his father, and just to have the big guy break down, I felt really bad, but I also felt like that was therapeutic for him, and it was also a really good message to share with the audience, to show that even though they did it tough, they did it the right way. They obeyed all of the rules of COVID, because, you know, we're in unprecedented times. We're going through stuff that we've never been through with this COVID lockdown and stuff. But for them to come through that and to, in the end, come out with a positive experience and celebrating his father's life, that was a real high point for me in the series.
Yeah. I really appreciated his willingness to share. And, yeah, I just feel like, you know, we need guys to open up and to share what's, you know, what they're feeling. It's so important for, for your mental health, to be able to share, really, you know, to really share how you're feeling.
Any other takeaways from our guests?
Oh, I mean, I think one thing that I would really like to note is that we are only just scratching the surface here in terms of the stories that there are of Pasifika's success. And, you know, just to come back to what I say at, you know, in every show, which is that success looks different to different people. And, you know, just the same as we've highlighted people who've achieved something in their field, but, you know, equally as successful are the people who were, you know, supporting them to enable them to get to where they, you know, got to. And, you know, I do think that there are a lot more stories out there, and a lot more, you know, kinds of success that, you know, I would like to delve into in future seasons.
And we've only really approached Wellington-based as well, so there's a lot more of Pasifika excellence all throughout New Zealand that we'd love to get to in further seasons as well. I think it's a good time for us to thank all of the people that have helped us out with this season. Big thanks to Umbrella Multimedia, our co-producers who helped us bring Talanoa Tupe to Oriana TV, Samson Timsoni and his crew. Also, our people who helped out with our set, our sponsors who gave us items for our beautiful set here. Yeah, we've got Langi, who Roots of the Pacific, the store in Lower Hutt, who donated some items, some beautiful items for our shelves. And we've also got Masi, who gave us this beautiful tuinga, Masi from Wainoiamata. And also to our family and friends who always supported us, our supporters on Poporazzi and our supporters through Oriana TV, but mostly our two daughters who are our inspirations, who helped us out on set every day as well. So that for me is a highlight, to be able to create an opportunity for our daughters to get into this as well, because we always wanted to, I guess for us it was always a dream to work on productions and work on film sets and stuff like that, but for us to be able to create that opportunity for our daughters ourselves, who are forces to be reckoned with themselves, that was a real highlight for me as well.